Okay, so hey guys, welcome back to the D&N Medical Series. It's your girl Nikki, and this is Damar, and we have a very special guest today, and he's Alex, and we'll introduce him very soon. So in this program, we're just talking about the different programs that are offered at UWI, the different aspects of the degree program, how to get in, and all the fun stuff in those different careers. So that's what this new segment is about. And we're so happy to have Alex here, who's going to share all about his program with us today. All right?
So Alex, can you introduce yourself for the D&N Medical Series family?
Hi everyone, I am Alex Lawson, a 22-year-old physical therapy graduate. I have not yet graduated, I just completed the program. And I'm here to talk to you a bit more about my program and the ins and outs of the physical therapy degree.
All right, real big physiotherapist, yeah. So you say you're a graduate, so you completed.
Yeah, I just recently completed all of my courses and completed my final professionalism exam, which is our equivalent to the final MBBS exam, where it's our professional exam, where it is the exam, I feel like I've said exam a lot of times, where we leave and go out into the working world as physical therapy interns.
Ah, nice. So I want to hear a little bit more about you and why did you choose the physiotherapy program? Why?
All right. So physical therapy has actually been very personal to me. My grandmother, when she was alive, she broke her leg, right? And she was immobilized for a very long time. And when the cast came off, she couldn't really use her leg. And the orthopedic surgeon at the time recommended that she go to a physical therapist. So at the time, I was about 10. And I didn't know what this physical therapist was because in my mind, it's either a doctor or a nurse. So I went with her to the physical therapist, and I recall my grandma struggling to walk. And at the end of the course of therapy, my grandma was like walking like perfectly fine. So I'm like, okay, so this is like a mini magician kind of profession, and it seems really cool. But further into my life, a close family member had a stroke, and again, physical therapy came up. And that's where I saw the full gamut of how effective physical therapy can actually be in treating not only orthopedic cases, bones and the joints, but also neurologic conditions such as stroke. And that's what pivoted me to actually take that interest in becoming a physical therapist at the UWI Mona.
Wow, I love that. That's such a beautiful story.
Story behind why you choose it,
right?
Right. So, like coming from high school, what were like the requirements to get into this physical therapy program?
Whew. So there were a plethora of requirements. So the main requirement is, I wrote them down because it's quite a lot. So the minimum of 5 passes in or CSEC subjects or O levels if you're from England, as we do have applicants from England, as well as a minimum of 2 W units of CAPE or A levels. In addition to that, the subjects which you sit at the CSEC level must include math and English and physics, chem, bio, or math as the additional minimum 5 subjects. Also, you need to get a minimum passing grade, a grade 3, to be even considered as a prospective applicant for the program, as well as there is a minimum age requirement. So unlike other programs where, for example, MBBS, where you can be a part of the program at 17, you have to be a minimum of 18 years of age at the time of admission to be considered, as well as you must complete 60 voluntary hours, 30 of which must be done in an acute general hospital, such as the KPH, the National Test Hospital, Surgeon Golden, UWI, as well as there are also personal qualifications, and trust me, they really, really, really zone in on these ones, inclusive of integrity, the ability to instruct, motivate, and overall just cheer on a patient, as well as after completing all of this, you must have 2 character references. And if you're deemed a suitable candidate, you must subject yourself to an interview by the head of the School of Physical Therapy, as well as other key stakeholders in the profession for I think that's the last step for your application to the program. So it's quite a lot.
That's quite a lot. That's like so much. Like that's
a lot.
That has to be very competitive. Oh my God.
Our class sizes range from 38 to 40 students. So it's a pretty small, closely knit class. We're just one big family on the 3rd floor.
Right. So guys, get your voluntary hours out there. Try to do those things and ensure that if you want to get through to this program, you're listening to what he's saying is the requirements and trying your best to fulfill these requirements if you want to get through for this program.
Very much so. You spoke, just a question, Alex. I don't know if I missed it. You spoke about transferring. What if I came into another program, say for instance, I came in at SciTech. Can I transfer to physiotherapy or that's not a thing?
You can transfer to physical therapy, and it is recommended that you do science and technology, so it's all science-based. However, courses such as biochemistry, microbiology, straight chemistry, and physics would be, as well as biochemistry, would be competitive courses, which will increase your ability to transfer into the program. And you must be at least a 2.7 GPA, I think, right? So a B student, a B plus student, a minimum of, and the more competitive you are, the more likely you are able to transfer from the science and technology faculty into the physical therapy program.
Mm-hmm. Very competitive for real, and get those good GPA, guys, because nobody's coming in with just a 2.7 anymore. Everybody have 3 other coming in, you know? Very, very competitive. And chemistry and biochemistry, they're not very easy. They're actually very challenging courses that you have to do well and excel in order to transfer. As you heard, Alex, this is a lot. And you have a lot of requirements to actually get in. So you have to work for that if that's what you want.
Work hard. Yeah.
Right.
So I know sometimes you get through for a program, but you want to know the tuition cost, especially for a medical faculty, it can be expensive. So for physical therapy, what is the tuition like?
All right. So the tuition as it stands for sponsored students, there are 2 different tuitions. So sponsored students are students who are coming from a Jamaican high school or another Caribbean territory that is a contributing country to the university's budget. I remember all of them off the bat. They'll be found on the website. However, the cost for that is $292,348 per year. So it's actually one of the cheapest degrees in the faculty. Notwithstanding, but if you're a non-sponsored student, it can cost upwards of $500,000. And fun fact to note, albeit that being noted as the cost for tuition, there are a lot of other associated costs with being in the degree program. Namely, we wear a uniform all day, every day, 5 days a week, and that can be an additional cost to you, as well as when you go on our rotations, which can get pretty costly, as well as material needed to be a clinician, etc. But the base cost is almost $300,000 per year for the degree program.
And that's in 2021, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's in 2021, notwithstanding the university, doing the university, doing what it does.
Yeah.
Right.
So I know So I know for us, we have like clinical tools that we need to purchase. For physical therapy, is there any instrument that you need to purchase out of your pocket?
There's a whole list of stuff. We do three main aspects of physical therapy throughout the program, one being orthopedics. So for our orthopedic-based courses, which there are a lot of them, we need goniometers, sphygmomanometers, blood pressure machine. We also need, if you can afford to get your own dynamometer, that would be perfect, but they're pretty costly.
What's a dynamometer? Just not to cut you. What's a dynamometer? What's that?
So it's a dynamometer. So it's essentially a special machine that measures the output of muscle strength, so you can get an objective reading.
Fancy.
Very, very. Right. For our cardiopulmonary based courses rather, we definitely need a stethoscope as we learn to auscultate the lungs as well as listen for heart sounds. We also need pulse oximeters. We also, all right, there's so many. I'm trying to like condense the list in my head because there's so many.
Yeah, we understand. But essentially, there's a lot of things that you need to get outside of it. Okay.
And inclusive of the books, we're not even going to mention the books because they're like 1,000,001 books to get for each course.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough out here for students. It's really rough.
Very
so
costly.
with all of those expenses from uniform to tuition to additional stuff, how do you, I jump in your business a little bit more. How do you like cover this? How do you pay your tuition and manage to cover all of this? Because, you know, poor people out here, you know.
We're poor in the streets, but I have to be truly grateful for the opportunities awarded to me because I was lucky enough to get a scholarship that covered my entire tuition every year, like clockwork. Mm-hmm. Once I maintained a GPA of at least 3.3, and so my tuition was good. I went to Wolmers and we have a very, very strong old boys association, and they made a very sizable contribution to my education in year one. But above all, my mother, she has been through it with me, and if it were not for her supporting me, literally carrying me on her back, I would not have been able to properly fund and go through my degree program with the ease that I've had. So as a student, a lot of us think that the only thing that we have to worry about is tuition. And when you don't have tuition to worry about, trust me, like you can focus on school and try to excel and do your best possible. Also, there is a special award that is in memoriam of a physical therapy student that passed away, Niles Stewart. It's the Niles Stewart Memorial Award that's specifically for physical therapy students, and it's for the most competitive matriculant. And it's given preferentially to St. George's College alumni, where Niall went. However, if you're the most competitive, Niall's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Stewart, actually fund your degree. So there are a few options to fund or degree. And notwithstanding, it's pretty expensive, but there are opportunities there. However, they're a bit limited because, you know, the medical faculty has a tendency to be, you know, put in the back when it comes on to scholarship opportunities for its students.
Right, I love that. And you said you went to Wolmers? You said Wolmers?
Wolmers Trust High School for boys.
Oh, for boys. And you mentioned St. George's as well?
All right, so I didn't go to St. George's. That was in reference to the Niles Stewart.
Now scholarship, okay.
Okay, I got you. Big up your past school, and I want to big up mommy, of course. Big up
big
Alex,
up mommy all the time.
You see, it's just always the women around here being strong women bringing these kids. Hello, Tapinaja, you're not about daddy? No, you hear mommy carrying us on our backs.
Well,
It's the women for me. It's the women for me. Right. I love that. I really love that, though. You know, our parents are super important in our lives, and a lot of people think that university is just covering the tuition. It's not just that. I'm telling you, mentally and physically, it's not just tuition. You just want somebody there sometimes to just encourage you and give you a little encouragement, and that goes a long way. So I just want to just big up mommy again.
Thank you.
Right. All right, so about your physical therapy career now, what do you think is some of the best and worst things about doing physical therapy?
My head of section is going to have my neck, but the worst thing about PT school is that uniform. Also, one of my biggest pet peeves personally is the lack of information that's available about my profession, and a lot of misconceptions which are present about my profession. I am not just a massage therapist. It's one of my least favorite modalities to use to treat a patient. So that, for me, has been one of the not so pleasant things about the profession. The best things about the profession, honestly, is that patient-therapist relationship that you form with the client and getting them from point A to point B, and knowing that you have contributed to the successful rehabilitation of this patient, contributing to their quality of life. Best feeling ever, honestly. Trust me. So that has to be the highlight of why I chose the career.
Right.
That is so sweet. Oh my God. It's like, oh my God, I'm a physiotherapist. Oh no, it's so nice. And would you say, like, you said you had to maintain a GPA. I heard you said you had to maintain a GPA of 3.3 to maintain your scholarship. So you say you cover all, like, the scholarship cover all of your tuition for all your years. So it's 4 years or 3 years?
That's a 3-year program.
3 years. So you say that means say if your scholarship cover all of that, that means say you maintain a 3.3 GPA all throughout. I say you did great or something.
I knew that if I didn't deliver, I'd have to be running up and down to find out how I'm going to fund my degree. So it's something that I had to do. So it didn't.
You had to do what you had to do. Yes.
So would you say the program was hard or it's manageable?
Oh yes. Listen, man. You see, coming straight out of high school, you see that we did anatomy, and that course draped me. It draped me.
That's my favorite course, though.
No, I don't. I initially draped me because of my mindset, because I was just coming out of high school. I wasn't equipped with the tools necessary to navigate university, and they hit the ground running. Like, in high school you start, first week you meet friends, and the second week you get a slow introduction. No. University first day, we had Professor Roy T hit the ground with embryo, and we were like, what is this? What is going on here? But I developed a love for anatomy, and I ended up getting an A, but that's besides the point.
No, you see, you are the people them in that class, but it's hard, this exam hard. And come out with that A, say it is
get the good grade.
Exactly, I say it is well. You must slip it in easy, but I got an A, but it's hard. Hello. You're right, just say that. If you're right, just say that.
No, I work hard. I work hard.
Yeah.
I work hard. But the courses can get very laborious because anatomy was worth 9 credits. And you are allowed to fail up to 9 credits. So, if you fail anatomy, you're not moving on from year 1. And we did, I think, 6 courses in the first semester. Just coming into university, 6 courses being thrown at you, trying to keep up because anatomy heavy, physiology heavy, everything heavy you don't know what to do. But luckily, we have a sibling program. And let me tell you, if you weren't for my sibling, I'd drown. I would have drowned. So our sibling program is really, 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 really good to help navigate first year. And then personally, second year was the roughest year in my career because we had neuroanatomy, we had neurophysiology, we had cardiopulmonary physical therapy, we had medical sciences too, which is all cardiopulmonary pathologies that exist. Plus, so it was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But for me personally, that was my hardest semester, but stuck through it, pulled through and did it. But the courses can get overwhelming and they're heavy, like heavy, rightfully heavy. We did a few courses with med students as well, like and PharmD students. So they can attest to the same that some of the courses are really like break back heavy. But once you put your mind to it and stick to it, great. For the most part.
Awesome. All right, so now that you're finished, or when you're finished for like a physical therapy, what are the job opportunities in the field that are available to you? Like, yeah, how can you put yourself out there?
All right. So in Jamaica, when we've graduated, we have to do a year's internship, and after that, we can get our license. Now, when you are a graduate, you can be a clinical physical therapist. So you can be in the hospitals, treating patients, inpatients. You can work publicly or privately as a physical therapist. You can go on to work in public health as a consultant. Notwithstanding doing an MPH as a consultant in developing policies to actually help govern or health, overall health of our society. We can take up positions in academia rather, as lecturers, as well as consultants. In the field of sports as well, because we have an extensive background in rehabilitation. We can further go on to specialize in a specific part of physical therapy, such as neuroscience, cardiopulmonary, sports medicine, orthopedics. We have quite a few options that can stem from just graduating with your BSc. So it's dependent on what you love and what you want as a clinician and what appeals to you.
Love that. Really love that so much. So say for instance, I'm a high schooler or I am from another faculty and I'm coming into physiotherapy. What advice would you give to me if you say, little girl, don't fail, little girl, do this and be successful? What should I do?
Little girl, take up a book. Take up the book. Take up the book. Please take it up. Rightfully, focus, keep your focus, but, as we know, school can be heavy at times, so take the break as you need, because I have a few classmates that suffered from burnout, myself included, and it's not cute, and it can really take a toll on you if you're just going, because physical therapy, there are no breaks. The little break we get is in December when university ends. So we have summers included. So it's a marathon, not a sprint. So hit the ground running, do the work, but also be mindful and cognizant that you need to take time for yourself to ensure that you're maximizing on your potential. And also, please ensure that you wear a uniform all day, every day, correct uniform.
Okay, thank you so much, Alex. I think Damar have one last question for you for this.
One last question for you, probably the most important question. So why do you love the D&N Medical Series? Come on, who doesn't love the D&N Medical Series? But tell us why.
I mean, to be very honest, it's a breath of fresh air because it allows for the full gamut of experience of medical school, the ins and outs of not just medical school, but university life, as well as it's an avenue where we learned quite a bit because I learned a lot about the female genital urinary system. Like, we learned it in school, but I really didn't pay much attention to it. As well as, little tips and tricks on how to maximize your time at the UE and to be the best student that you can. So it's like the ideal medical fresher's pocketbook, but on the internet.
Love that. Love that. Okay, Alex. So we want to thank you so much for coming in today. But before you leave, I have a surprise for you. Well, it's a surprise game. You don't know anything about this. But do you have your Instagram account open, or are you using your phone?
It's there.
Okay, so I sent you 2 words. I'm just going to put them across the screen, and I want you to pronounce these words for me. It's simple stuff. So it's just medical words that I want you to pronounce, and pronounce it. How do you think you want to pronounce it? Any way you think it's on, pronounce it for me. I put it across the screen for our viewers to see what the word is. So I want you to say it now.
All right. So the first word is colic. Let me do the second one because so this diadochokinesia, this is, should I define it or just leave it at that?
You can just pronounce it for me. Let me hear it again.
So this diadochokinesia.
This diadochokinesia. Okay.
Whatever.
This whatever.
This diadochokinesia.
Okay, and do you know what this is?
It's actually a resultant of a lesion in the cerebellum.
So is this one?
Yeah, it's a movement disorder.
Right, so you cannot do rapid alternative movement in your hand when you have a brain problem. But I love it. This kind of whatever. I love it. And the last one, can you pronounce this one for us?
Choledocholisthesis. Choledocholisthesis. Something to do with the choledocholisthesis.
Okay, nice. I hear Damar is trying to say something. What you want to say? You want to pronounce it for us?
No. I didn't say anything.
Okay, so nice. Thank you so much, Alex. So that the first one, the second one is, as you correctly said, is this diadochokinesia. And the second one you did is choledocholisthesis. That's to do with gallstones and so on. But you're bright. You deserve the 3.3. You deserve the scholarship. You're bright. Love that. So I want to thank you so much for coming in today, Alex. We appreciate you so much. We heard a lot about the physiotherapy. It was really harder than I thought, and it's way more competitive than I thought to get in. And I just want you to just big up yourself, big up your past school, and big up mommy always,
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And you heard Alex said the first thing they did was anatomy. So it's very important to check out our anatomy playlist to give you guys a heads up or head start in anatomy. So everything about you, you just check me out on nice tips. Yeah.
Rightfully so. All right. So thank you guys again so much. Remember to like this video, leave a comment, share this with your friends, right? And subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right. Until next time. See you soon. Bye, guys.